Fall is the most birthday-packed season of the year, so chances are you have a few celebrations coming up. Make sure your friends and family feel special with a gorgeous bouquet of roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to send the perfect gift. 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99. To get 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
Because Sunday just wouldn't exist without it, thank you, Kristen 18 of Massachusetts. This is MuggleCast episode 46 for July 1st, 2006. See why GoDaddy.com is the #1 domain registrar worldwide. Now with your domain registration, you'll get hosting, a free blog, complete email, and much more. Plus, as a MuggleCast listener, enter code RON, that's R-O-N, when you check out, and get your .com domain name for just $6.95 a year. Get your piece of the internet today at GoDaddy.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live... wait.
Whoops.
No, it's not. I'm Andrew Sims.
I am Ben Shane.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Laura Thompson.
And I'm still lost, even after being away for ages. I'm Jamie Lawrence.
3 co-hosts return this week. Kevin and Jamie, you've been off for a while. And Laura, we just don't care about you. But yeah, we were going to do the live podcast this week, and Skypecast apparently cannot handle our
too much.
awesomeness. Yeah.
Apparently.
MuggleCast is too hot to handle. There's the title for this week's show. Too hot to handle.
Perfect.
Too hot to handle.
I love it. All right, so before we do anything else, we already have a title already. Let's just wrap the show up now.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Micah Tannenbaum is standing by in the MuggleCast News Center with the latest Harry Potter news stories.
Back in May, Bloomsbury co-founder Liz Calder predicted that the 7th book in the Potter series would be released in 2007. Now, a new article released by Reuters also predicts the same. It reads, Harry Potter fans will have to wait until next year for the latest installment of the Boy Wizard's Antics to come out in hardback. The paperback version of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince has gone to #1 since its launch, the company said. USA Today wanted to know which characters the experts thought were going to die in Book 7, so they asked Emerson and Melissa from the Leaky Cauldron to give some odds. If you head over to MuggleNet.com, you can read the full article. And even though they called them separately, notice the similarity of the numbers they provided. Must be that love connection. For their work on Goblet of Fire, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson have been nominated for Sci-Fi Genre Awards in the categories of Best Actor and Best Actress, respectively. Well, we hope. The pair has also picked up nominations for Best Young Actor, and the 4th Harry Potter movie is up for Best Film. Voting will commence on July 10th, finishing 30 days later. James Walters' young Sirius Black recently did an interview with Harry Potter Fan Zone in which he discussed the Order of the Phoenix set, how he landed the role, other cast members, filming, and director David Yates. The Queen's 80th birthday celebration at Buckingham Palace took place last Sunday, and a report by CBBC Newsround stated that J.K. Rowling was one of the first stars to arrive. Additionally, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, and Matthew Lewis were in attendance to see the show. There is video, photographs, screen caps, and reports available from the birthday bash over on MuggleNet.com. And on Monday, Jo did a rare live interview on UK talk show Richard and Judy, where she revealed some interesting information. Again, video, transcript, and screenshots from the interview are available over on MuggleNet.com. She discussed the potential of Harry Potter being killed in the final book and said one character got a reprieve and 2 died that I didn't intend to die. And while JK didn't divulge the characters on the show, she did sit down and talk to me afterwards, revealing just who was saved and the duo that she killed. And this is earth-shattering news. The 2 who die are and while the one who received the reprieve is... Can you all believe that? That's all the news for this July 1st, 2006 edition of MuggleCast. Back to the show.
All right, thank you, Micah. Or should I say Mizika, recommended by Katie Brown.
Or M to the T-Dog.
Oh.
Big fancy.
Or how about Sir Bombs a lot?
Sir Bombs a lot.
That's funny on a few different levels.
Dude, you can't say bomb on Skype.
Yeah, I forgot.
What you? So funny on it is funny on a few different levels. It is.
It is. That one comes from Caitlin, 16 from Chicago. Keep the names coming. All right, so as we said, MuggleCast Live did not work out like we hyped up so much, and we are going to
you hyped up.
Yeah.
I was excited, what can I say? We are working on getting a streaming server. We had a couple people email us in to help us out, but it looks like Jeremy is going to help us set up a entire system where we could stream the show, and as many people can come in as they want, and there won't be any problems. It'll work a lot better than Skype casts. Las Vegas and New York City are quickly approaching. We remind everyone to visit leakymug.com, our brand new Leaky Mug website, in association with Pottercast and Leaky Cauldron. You can RSVP for either shows or both of them just by going there. You can also find out information on the Leaky Mug, about the co-host, and mucho moro. Jamie, you haven't been on the show for a while, but you're always IMing us and letting us know how excited you are for this podcast.
I am.
Why don't you let everyone know?
I am ridiculously excited.
Jamie.
Yes, Ben.
Jamie, if you had to use two words to describe how excited, two words to describe how you're feeling about Vegas, would you say proud and excited?
Yes,
a fair assessment.
I'd say I'm proud, excited, pleased to. That's 3 words. No, I am so excited. If I try and speak the words to say how excited I am, they won't come out, just because the English language can't convey such excitement. In fact.
Okay, now you're probably giving the people impression that you're being sarcastic.
No, okay, sorry.
No.
I'm not being sarcastic. I actually can't wait.
This is your second trip back to the US, right?
It is, but I'm not used to such heat, so I am actually just gonna melt and be a puddle on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Climate.
No, honestly, 106 degrees. The closest I've got to that is like sticking my head in an oven, which I do regularly, obviously.
It's his self-panning.
It's a British custom.
And then
it's a British custom.
Let's tell people about your trip. Then after Vegas, you're actually staying at my house.
Which
is totally weird. With Ben.
Me and Jamie and I are gonna cuddle.
We are gonna cuddle.
We're gonna show you a time in Medford.
Oh yeah,
you just wait.
Great time there.
Boy, oh boy. And darn, I gave out my location. And then we're gonna go up to New York City, and it's all gonna be a lot of fun. So don't forget leakymug.com. Also, Jamie's favorite announcement: buy a MuggleCast T-shirts.
Oh yeah. Or
else you have no reason to live.
Please, please, please buy them. I mean, we've never mentioned it before, but we do need to finally, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
What, Ben?
I have a very special top 10 list this week.
Oh.
Ooh.
That has to go in right now. Okay.
Oh, jeez. All right. Okay.
This is dire. Just give me 1 second to pull it up. Top 10 list has been gone for quite some time. Okay. And so it's absolutely essential we bring it back this week, and here's why. The top 10 reasons to buy 11 more MuggleCast T-shirts.
Was this created by you or someone else?
Someone sent this in, thanks to Kate. Since everyone bought one for the National T-shirt Day, of course. Okay, number 10. Support MuggleCast so it can be brought to your iPod every week. Number 9. Andrew worked so hard to get his bill passed by Congress to make a National MuggleCast T-shirt Day in the first place. Number 8. The MuggleCasters will be able to afford food in Nevada for the live podcast. Number 7. Because we might as well make June National Wear Your MuggleCast T-shirt month, and you'll need more as they wear out. Number 6. You have to buy them or else you can't listen to the show, which becomes the new rule for MuggleCast.
Oh, I like that.
Number 5, you can look cool in your Abercrombie & Fitch and your Aeropostale. But seriously, how about a nice 100% cotton black MuggleCast T-shirt?
Fruits of the Loom.
Yeah. It's not even Fruits of the Loom.
Oh my god, if it's not Fruits of the Loom, then yeah.
Here's my favorite. My favorite. Number 4. You're going to be paying for Jamie's food because he's poor and he's living on the streets and has pieced together a computer and headset with stale scraps of bread, an empty toilet paper roll holder, and an old spoon to record the show.
And the tears of small children as well.
Yeah.
That
number 3.
That is a Chuck Norris quote. Hey Ben, also, if it's your favourite, why isn't it number 1? That's like saying my top 10 favourite places, my favourite's number 4. Why isn't it?
Hey, be quiet. Number 3, a portion of the MuggleCast T-shirt revenue goes to supplying JKR with lined paper.
Yes.
Number 2, although you don't know who manufactures Tootsie Rolls, you do know who makes MuggleCast T-shirts, and you know that you're going to get your money's worth from MuggleCast. And number 1, MuggleCast T-shirts are made out of a special synthetic fabric, and in like 1 year there's going to be something big that happens, and all the clothing in the entire world is going to deteriorate, and we are all going to have left, all we're going to have left are these MuggleCast T-shirts. So if you want clothing, buy a MuggleCast T-shirt.
Please.
So there's the top 10 reasons to buy 11 more MuggleCast T-shirts.
I thought it was going to say there's a special chemical in it that's going to make it degrade into pieces and force people to buy a new one.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad
but
idea.
one final announcement.
No, I still got one.
But one more announcement before we go to Andrew's. I'm starting a segment starting next week called Ben's Mailbag.
Aww.
The packages he hasn't sent Jamie, Laura, or anyone else. No.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's do that.
No, actually, I'd like to take a time right now. Next week I'll actually start a real segment, but I'd like to take time right now to thank 2 special souls for sending me Subway gift cards. Thank you very much. I forgot.
Okay, now just one more piece of business here. As some of you may know, the second annual Podcast Awards start on July 1st, and the Podcast Awards are recognized around the podcasting community as the pinnacle of all podcasting recognition. So this year we want to enter the Podcast Awards, and we're shooting for the categories of Podcast of the Year and Best Entertainment Podcast. I definitely think we're able to. We'd be able to
Andrew,
get in.
Sorry, we're in one more category as well. It's best podcast called MuggleCast. We're the only.
Funny.
That's funny. Yeah.
That was lame as hell.
I hope we win.
You are the.
I hope we win.
I'm gonna name you Server Bombs a lot. Oh.
Hey.
So the first phase of these awards is the nomination process, which is done by you guys, the listeners, and we have complete faith in being able to pick up a nomination. So we are asking you for your help. To nominate MuggleCast, visit podcastawards.com and fill out the nomination form. A link can be found on MuggleCast.com as well. The form asks for the name of the podcast you're nominating, which is MuggleCast, the podcast URL, which is www.mugglecast.com, your name, your email address, which is used to verify your nomination. There's also a comment box where you let the judges know why you think the podcast is deserving of being nominated to the category. So please help us out. And again, voting begins on July 1st and runs through July 15th. We ask everyone to support the show by nominating us, and we thank everyone very, very much in advance. Then the podcast award ceremony, the award show, is late September at the Portable Media Expo, and last year
in Ontario, California.
Yeah, and we really
would like to go to California.
Would like to win this.
Yeah,
well,
we really want to
but
go to California, so please nominate us.
No, but seriously, we really would love to win the award.
Go to
and
California.
Show all the podcasters out there that Harry Potter podcast can. Yeah, there you go. So thank you everyone, and visit MuggleCast.com for full information.
In order to finance our future trip to California, purchase a MuggleCast T-shirt today.
There you go.
Or 11 of them.
11.
That does it for this week's announcements. Now moving on to listener rebuttals. Megan, 14 of New Jersey, representing. Megan writes, "Hey guys, the Pyramids of Fermat title for Book 7 was a rumor and was debunked a month ago. Sorry, Andrew, you're still my favorite." So yeah, I sort of missed that. Or I could just say that J.K. Rowling added that to the rumors portion of her site after the show came out. I'll stick with that one. Next up, Kaylee, 15 from California. She writes, and this is a really interesting theory here to extend on my Book 7 title theory, whatever you want to call it. "Hi guys, I just wanted to say that I love the show, and I have a rebuttal for when Andrew suggested possible book titles for Book 7, particularly for the Chariots of Light. I recently read an editorial by Lady Lupin from the column Spinner's End, and she talked about tarot cards relating to the Horcruxes. The editorial says that the chariot represents the understanding and harmonizing of opposing forces to creating triumphant resolution to problems. Okay, such as a quest, Horcruxes, or the final battle. Interestingly, it also can represent the integration of body and soul." And she writes, "Voldemort and his Horcruxes, scary thought." And this was Lady Lupin, editorial number 3. So she was wondering if we had any input on that. I think that's really interesting.
It is interesting.
Because, and I'll quote again, the chariot represents the understanding and harmonizing of
Andrew can
opposing
talk.
forces to bring about an end to strife and difficulty.
Where did this title come from? The Chariots of Light.
Well, it's basically...
Did you make it up,
okay.
Andrew?
No, yes,
Okay.
I made it up. No, I called J.K. Rowling. No, the UK Patent and Trademark Office.
yeah,
you
oh
can
yeah,
do a
they,
search for, all that. You might have heard about that a while ago.
By that Sea Trading Company or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they've withdrawn all the bogus trademarks except for 3, Pyramids of Fermat. I don't even know why they have that anymore. Maybe because she brought it up on her rumors
it's not.
page.
I don't think it's going to be for. I don't think it's going to be for books or anything. It's going to be for like merchandise and board games,
Right.
trading cards, just stuff like that, which it could be useful for, or it could just be a complete ploy.
It probably is a ploy.
Right. Well,
create
listen,
discussion.
the thing was, they had 15 other titles already trademarked, but then they withdrew them. And the only ones that are trademarked right now are the titles of all the books and those 3 last titles. And Half-Blood Prince was actually registered back in 2003.
By who?
But, it came out by Warner Brothers or whoever is
Yeah, but the
trademarking
thing is,
these.
they don't own the. They shouldn't own the trademark to the books.
Yeah, they do. They own the rights.
What?
They own the rights to the name and stuff, so they can't go printing it. So people can't go printing it on
Wait.
shirts and
Warner
whatever.
Brothers own the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure it's Warner Brothers. Yeah,
They own the publishing company or have anything to do with the books. Though.
they don't. They
It
don't
doesn't
own
matter
the
though
rights to that.
because they don't want people
Right.
infringing on that name. Is what's happening.
No, because I'm opening my book up right now and it says copyright 2005 Warner Brothers.
But
In the book?
Yeah, in the book.
I never knew it said it in the book. Jeez. Oh, that's interesting.
that is weird.
But nonetheless, okay, so Pyramids of Fermat is a dud and not going to happen. But this Chariots of Light is very convincing. So mark my words. I
Yeah.
have the title of the book 7.
I think it's interesting, but I don't know. I think it's.
I understand the
I've got to have skepticism about
It
this.
just doesn't sound... I don't know.
I would think that as she gets closer to completing the book, we're going to see a bunch of possible titles pop up on the copyright site, and we'll
Right.
have to guess which one it is. you know?
Chariots of Fire is the music that plays when you're in the cornfield with Emma, and you're moving towards.
Yeah. How's it go, Jamie?
It goes dun 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 bum bum, and then oh Emma, oh Ben. Oh Emma, oh Ben, oh Emma, oh Ben, oh Ben, oh Emma, Bemma, Bemma, Bem.
All right, next rebuttal, Morgan
found our
15
blooper.
of Seattle. Hey guys, love the show. On episode 45, you were talking about an item of Ravenclaw's that could be a Horcrux. I was thinking that could be a quill or a book. Rowena Ravenclaw valued intelligence and ambition, so wouldn't it make sense that something she would have kept close to her was a favorite book or quill?
And
End
that's the end of
quote.
that one. That's the
Yes,
end of that one.
I said it. I love you, Andrew. End quote. So,
Okay, can I start this one?
yeah.
Okay, I would say that it was mentioned in the book that specifically Voldemort liked, trophies and a book or a quill. I mean, a book, obviously his diary, but that's completely different to just a normal book. It seems like it would have to be a lot more important than a book or a quill.
He likes
To be
shiny
used as a
things.
Horcrux. Yeah, I just think it would have to be more important than that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Chase 17 of Illinois writes, quote, I'm not sure I agree with what you said in MuggleCast 45 about what happens when someone removes some memory to put it in a pensive. If you remember in Order of the Phoenix when Snape was teaching Harry occlumency.
Occlumency.
Occlumency. Snape removed certain memories he did not want Harry to see. Therefore, I believe that once a memory is removed, it is no longer in the brain at all. You still have a recollection of removing a memory so you can return it, but I do not think you have any trace of it left after it is removed. Plus, when Slughorn was able to tell Harry what went on between him and Voldemort, he still had the memory in his brain. He didn't give it to Harry till after he explained himself. So what do you think, Ben? This was your theory on last week's show.
I think I'm pretty sure. I'm still pretty sure that the memory's still there, because that wouldn't make sense for the memory to disappear completely from your mind. That's like saying, No, that just wouldn't make sense.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, but I've just been sort of rereading Order of the Phoenix, and whenever Snape is about to teach Harry, he removes the memories because he doesn't want Harry to see them, and if they weren't there, Harry would be. If they were, Harry'd be able to see them.
What would be the point of putting them in the pensieve if you're going to? If it's not going to hide them.
Not to mention, Dumbledore said, if like me, you find that your memory is crowded, you can remove memories and put them in the pensieve.
But when they say...
I don't think it...
Has there been anywhere in the books where it says that if you take one out, you create space for new memories? Or is it just that...
Is it like a computer, Jamie?
I don't think... Yeah, I don't think it's like a hard drive. If you have a hard drive up there, you can only have so many memories.
Then it crashes.
Well, I don't think it's meant to be that way. I think it's more of a method of protection.
What, so that if you get captured and tortured?
Yeah, but so that no one can, shove Veritaserum down your
there's
throat.
no way that's true, because why would Dumbledore leave his basin with his memories in it sitting out there in plain view? Well,
it wasn't really in plain view.
What happens if you spill your pensieve?
Yeah, but you don't know what type of protection is on that.
Oh, Harry just dived right into it.
Yeah, but that's Dumbledore.
Well, maybe Dumbledore meant for him to see it.
Exactly. I mean...
It just doesn't make sense that he would have a place to store his memories if he didn't have a reason to store them there.
Not to mention, remember the fact that Dumbledore put the enchantment on the Mirror of Erised so that you couldn't get the stone unless you actually needed it. What prevents him from putting something like that on?
I think the reason that Dumbledore was using a pensieve to store his memories was so that after he was gone, he knew his death was imminent, that it would make sense for him to have that, so someone like Harry could use the knowledge that he's accrued through all of his years to be able to become successful on his journey to defeat Voldemort.
But then why would Snape store his memories in the pensieve?
I don't know. Like, for example, the one memory that Snape had of the one memory, Snape's worst memory, the chapter that's in Order of the Phoenix, it's the case where he, that may be, like, he had a crush on Lily Evans, and it may be the case where that's the only memory he has of her, so he wants to keep it safe.
No, but like...
it doesn't make sense for you to say that if you extract it from your head that you never...
It could be, though.
No, but
that's the only way you can...
Because
I think you would have a recollection, but you wouldn't have the memory itself.
But what defines a memory, though?
But Ben, say if you took out the visual memory of Snape's worst memory, he could probably still see in his mind, the words, at this time they picked me up and put me down, but he couldn't see it visually. Maybe that's a...
That doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm sorry, Ben.
You should be.
You clearly have a doctorate in, wizard memories.
Well, it doesn't make sense that Snape would take those memories out to protect them from Harry seeing them, and then, have Harry be able to have access to them.
That's a really convincing and...
I guess.
Character discussion this week. We're returning back. We're bringing this segment back. We haven't done it in a couple of shows.
Actually, it was 2 weeks ago. The week you were gone, we did it.
That's a couple. We are going to discuss Voldemort. We saved Voldemort for this week because we were doing the live show, but now we'll do it pre-recorded anyway. So, Tom Marvolo Riddle, otherwise known as Lord Voldemort, possibly the greatest dark wizard of all time, was born to Ropey Gaunt on December 31st, 1926. Voldemort grew up shunned by his father, this being the reason he hates Muggles and anyone associated with them. He's extremely powerful, using his talents to commit such unimaginable atrocities that many witches and wizards fear speaking his name and replace it instead with, quote,
oh my God,
no, who, end quote, or
just
what?
Andrew.
He who must not be named. All right, I'll get rid of the hyphen, sorry.
Or quote, H-E hyphen W-H-O.
Well, I don't want to say it. Voldemort returned to power at the end of Goblet of Fire and is now obsessed with finding out how to destroy the boy who lived.
Can I just say,
what?
Well, two things. In about 4 episodes' time, can we do a MuggleCast Parseltongue edition? Because everything's in Parseltongue.
Yeah, because I have my Parseltongue books right beside me. I'm studying it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought we all did. What about you've put that he's extremely powerful, using his talents to commit such unimaginable atrocities that many witches and wizards fear speaking his name. Is that because, I mean, do you think it's only him that could become this powerful and use these talents? Or is it just that any person can do it, but nobody's evil enough apart from him to do it?
Well, Jamie, I think he was born completely evil because his mother was a descendant of Salazar Slytherin.
I don't think anyone's born evil.
No, and Andrew, you can't really say that because, well, I mean, it's an argument, but Hitler's grandsons or great grandsons, are completely, absolutely disgusted by him, but they've just said that they aren't having any children because he can't continue his bloodline.
Yeah, but this is the magic world, and there could be something in the bloodline
I know. It's just interesting, to make the comparison.
I'm one of those people who don't blame the kids for the sins of the father, I guess, kind of.
No, same. I agree. It's that's because you are a Dave man.
Yeah.
In fact.
What do you think, Laura?
Well, I think that it's kind of important to mention when we first met Merope in Half-Blood Prince, is it just me or did it kind of describe that she had odd facial features? They were almost sort of off in a way, and that her eyes kind of veered off in different directions. And we've seen that the pureblood families tend to interbreed with one another, and you can definitely get some weird gene mutations from that.
That's true. Sounds like Kansas.
It sounds like Georgia too, but I think is he could have something a little wrong up in his head. But I think that
Six Finger City.
I think that he was definitely born a little more evil than anyone else because we saw as a child that he did terrible things like hang bunny rabbits and.
But when you say evil, do you mean like
cruel?
Antisocial personality disorder? No. So he's a sociopath. He's not. He isn't. I mean, it's quite hard to say evil, because when you compare him to. Sorry, go on.
Well, at the same time, though, I think that some of his childhood events kind of had a huge bearing on what he became because he couldn't understand why Lily would sacrifice herself for Harry because no one would have ever done that for him.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I agree.
He doesn't know what love is. He wants to
know what love is.
I want.
Why
is
there a song associated with everything today?
I want to feel what love is.
Oh boy. Kevin, what do you think?
I said exactly what I wanted to. I don't believe that someone is responsible for the sins of their father. I don't think that you're born evil. I really don't think you're born evil. I think that the environment you grow up in, or perhaps...
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it defines you. And he just ended up growing in a...
It's our choices, Harry. Far more than our abilities.
Yeah, but how many kids in orphanages hang bunny rabbits?
Yeah, that's not normal.
Yeah, but...
I mean, okay, maybe he wasn't born completely
up.
evil, but he might have been born messed up, like whoever just said that said. I mean, yeah, like Laura pointed out. Little kids don't do those things to bunnies.
I thought it was normal.
Using the magic of Rightly, Eric's opinion is that Voldemort chose to look at his life half empty as opposed to half full. He wasn't abused or tortured as a kid, just parentless. He could have had friends, and his orphan matrons could have been parents to him if he chose to see them as that. And he decided to bring torture and that kind of stuff on his terrified classmates, therefore he was born evil. Well,
because when he was a baby, he didn't
make a conscious choice.
Wriggle and crawl and kill bunnies. Yeah,
that's a good.
It was nurture.
That's a good point, though. I mean, if you're not brought up in a regular family and you don't have parents to look up to, you're messed.
Which would be environmental.
Exactly.
I mean,
so it's nurture. So it's nurture, not nature.
Okay, I like that. I changed my mind.
That's not true. The environment may play a factor, but I completely disagree, man.
What? With what? The parents don't play the role?
The parents do play a role. But what I'm saying is that he had the choice he had two paths to choose. He could have chose to battle against adversity and work his way through it and become a better person out of it, or he could choose to become this dark.
Yeah, but the question
wizard.
What would make him make that choice to become the Dark Wizard? why would he choose that?
Personality
But
disorder.
where would he get his personality?
Because he has a hunger for power.
Because he has a hunger for power, and he's got this magic that could be used to harness the power.
I think it was exactly what Jamie said, nurture. He wasn't properly brought up.
Well, that's what we're saying, but it's also he was power hungry. You could be born to want to be power hungry.
I don't know. I think there was some sort of point in stating that the pureblood families all tend to interbreed, because while we know that your personality isn't necessarily passed on to you by your parents if you've never known them like Voldemort did, but there can be certain diseases or sicknesses or disorders that you can get genetically that can cause other issues.
I don't know how prevalent genetic disorders are in the magical world, so...
I don't know. Merope sounded pretty messed up to me.
Yeah, but I don't know. Don't you think with something like magic, they would have cures and stuff for things like manic depression and...
Well, why would they? They can't even stop a killing curse.
Because it's the magical world. They have magic.
Which they can't use to stop a killing curse.
Right, but they can cure a common cold.
But I think that magic's a kind of inexact science magic, just like medicine or veterinary science, because
it has to be learned.
It has to be learned, and like they can discover spells in 50 years that do different things, and like I'm sure 10,000 years ago they couldn't, cure colds or stuff like that, or it's still people still learn stuff. They can't just click their fingers and they know everything. It's like that. They can't be all wise, all powerful at everything.
Right, well, let's move on to the next question.
Oh, I like this one. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, 3. Why was Voldemort offering Lily so many chances to live? What's wrong with that?
You don't have to say the number.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. Section 6, question 3. Why was Voldemort offering Lily so many chances to live? Joe says he actually would have let her live.
Would have let her live if what? Was there a second part to that sentence?
He gave her the opportunity to live so many times.
Stand aside, silly girl.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
I think we've discussed this before.
And he said it more than once, too.
Because
I think we might have.
I think I remember us saying
probably
something about him being manipulative and looking for people who could further his cause. And it just so happened that Lily may have been in the position where, she could have contributed to bringing down the Ministry of Magic, or at the same time, Snape liked.
Yeah,
I
what
think
if Snape
that,
put in the good word and said, "Don't
exactly.
kill her"?
No,
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it a little more interesting, because we discussed the possibility that Snape might have been there.
What about though that he just didn't see her as enough of a threat? In magical power, he had to kill James since he could have hurt him, disabled him, whatever. But Lily, she was clutching Harry. She couldn't do complicated wand work, and that he was so set in his mind that he had to kill Harry that he didn't really have time for secondary objectives like that. And the only reason he killed James was because he had to, whereas he thought perhaps he didn't have time to kill Lily, or people would already be on their way.
I don't
maybe.
know, because I think it was Hagrid that said in the first book that Voldemort got to the point where he just liked killing.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think that he would just walk into a house and kill everybody in it and let one person survive. I think there's definitely a big underlying reason as to why he did that, because in the interview last summer where Emerson and Melissa went and talked to Joe, she said, "I can't tell you."
Oh, right, yeah.
So I think it's something very
It
important.
probably is, yeah.
So we know that Dumbledore was, quote unquote, the only man he ever
The
feared.
only one, you sexist
The only
pig.
one. The only one. the only. What? It says the only one he ever feared.
You said the only man.
You said only
Oh.
man.
The only human being.
Sorry.
The only
You jerk.
Homo sapien.
We know that Dumbledore was the only one he ever feared, but why? He is powerful, yes, but isn't Harry his real opposite?
No, because
Hold on,
No.
I'm answering this.
No.
it's because Dumbledore.
Okay, fine.
No, I was going to say that it's because Voldemort had to get to a table tennis game, England against Switzerland, and so he had to go Dumbledore. No. The thing is that he didn't see Harry as like powerful magically. He just thought
Right,
that he
that's what I was gonna say.
he could be his obstacle. He had the potential to be his obstacle, but he had to get him out of the way quickly. And this relates back to the previous point about why he didn't kill Lily. Perhaps he just thought he had to get rid of Harry before he gets, too big for his boots. Whereas Dumbledore, he thought, could stop him and could, and that he had the power to kill him because Voldemort thinks that the only, bad thing is death. So perhaps he realized that Dumbledore knew about the Horcruxes, so that he feared that he could, get rid of them and then kill him.
Well, I think he might have definitely had some fear of Dumbledore from when he went to school.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because Dumbledore was really the only one who suspected him of having opened the chamber, and he always probably saw Dumbledore as the person who would expose him.
What will the outcome of Book 7 be for him? If Harry kills him, will he come back as a ghost, etc.? Well, aren't we supposed to learn in Book 7 how ghosts, or who...
Yeah, we are, yeah.
What determines what makes a ghost?
We already learned that,
don't
we? Nick told
like an imprint of themselves on Earth, but you couldn't.
Right,
I mean,
but could a ghostly Voldemort be able to
no, because he doesn't have He doesn't have unfinished business.
It's true.
It's finished. It's finished. He's you can't just not like what happened to you in real life and come back because of that. I think it's like if you get killed prematurely before you've got to do something. The whole fate stroke destiny argument comes in here, that if you're destined to do something and you get killed prematurely, perhaps you have to come back and finish that off. Whereas the Voldemort Harry thing has gone through to conclusion if Voldemort dies. So it's
So you're saying if Voldemort got run over by a bus before he had the chance to meet Harry in the final battle, then he could come back as a ghost?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think because that would just be half of the it would just conclude the whole thing anyway. It wouldn't I think say if somebody has I'm thinking if they have a big part in creating, I don't know, magical cooperation around the world, or if one thing can't happen because somebody dies, something like that, I think perhaps then they come back. Or if say they have a duty to guide somebody through life or something like that, so then they come back. But I don't think they can come back just because the odds didn't, suit them during life.
Well, I've always been of the opinion that regardless of what happens to Voldemort, he could never come back as a ghost because his soul isn't whole. His soul is fragmented and scattered everywhere, and I've always really been of the opinion that you've got to have a complete soul to be able to come back.
I don't know about that.
Interesting.
So there.
Maybe that's how it is brought up in Book 7.
Yeah, but we don't know enough about what it takes to be a ghost to really, truly judge.
No, we don't. That's just my opinion.
Exactly.
Well, what constitutes a ghost? Because a ghost doesn't have a brain. It doesn't have a brain in him, so it must just have a mind, a sort of ethereal mind somewhere. I don't know.
So now we're going to move on to Give Me a Butterbeer.
Wait, Andrew, wait.
What?
What is this? What is this? Give me a Butterbeer. What is it?
Well, Jamie, boys, this is scripted.
No, it's not. It's not
Give
scripted.
Me a Butterbeer. Give Me a Butterbeer is Ben's segment where he whines about something in the Harry Potter world.
Thank you, Andrew.
Not whining, but expressing his concern.
Andrew, thank you for telling me about that segment.
You're welcome. So you'll be able to experience one now.
This week we're going back to the traditional format of Give Me a Butterbeer. Last week was a little out there, but we're back and better than ever. Yeah. There was something in the media this past week that really got on my nerves. Last night I was sitting at my computer, working on MuggleCast, and my older brother walked in the room and said, "Is it true that the Harry Potter author is going to kill the main character?" I looked at him and sighed. The media has blown things out of proportion again. During an interview with the UK talk show Richard and Judy, Jamie, are you a big fan of that show?
I've seen it a few times. It's okay. It's like
Oprah?
It's been oh god, no, it isn't at all. It's just two people interviewing, say, one person.
Two on one.
Yeah, it's
Great description.
I know it sounds obvious, but it's two people, Richard and Judy.
Yeah.
I thought it was Richard and Judy.
Either way.
Thanks for that. All right.
During her
Interviewing,
interview on the talk show, J.K. Rowling said, like she has said countless times before, that no character in the series is safe. Her exact words were, "We are dealing with pure evil, so they don't target the extras, do they? They go straight for the main characters. Or I do." Just like little kids, the media has asked JKR the same question time and time again, if she plans to kill off Harry, thinking that the next time she might just give away the entire ending to the series she's been formulating for the past 16 years. Yeah. Right. Sure, this was her first ever live TV interview that she's participated in. And sure, she did offer quite a bit of information about Book 7, such as the fact that she is now going to kill off 2 additional characters than originally planned, while one who initially got the axe will be saved. The wizarding world is at war, people. Of course people are going to die. Don't hate me for this, but I honestly think it would be pretty cool if Harry did die in Book 7. Maybe I'm just a bitter young man, but seeing the headlines about Jo planning to kill off Harry in Book 7 are starting to get a little more than annoying. I guess when you're in her shoes, you're going to be forced to answer the same question a million times. But that's what gets me. The answer never changes, but the media still reacts the same. And worst of all, they still pull an Andrew and mispronounce her name by calling her J.K. Rowling instead of J.K. Rowling. I'm Ben Shane, and I say, give me a Butterbeer.
I like that, Ben. I like that.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think that Hermione's going to get the axe, but I'm not sure that's really pertinent to the discussion at hand. I think that this is... Shut up, Jimmy. Anyway, I really think that this is a very large-scale problem that we have with the media, and we will probably always have with the media, because it's not just with Harry Potter. They like to do this with everything. So, Ben, thank you.
But isn't that part of the media, especially some media? You know, it's like you expect, say, the tabloids are always going to sensationalize stuff. It's like that's why they report it. It's like
but that's why they have tabloids. That's what tabloids are there for.
Wait, exactly.
When you're talking about actual interviews, the fact that people ask the same question over and over and over, as though one day she's just going to break down and say, "Yes, I hate Harry. I'm going to kill him."
But you're speaking from the point of view of a big fan of Harry Potter. Every single person who listens to the show is a big fan of Harry Potter, so they have heard it many times before. The general public, exactly. People tuning in to Richard and Judy aren't going to be, apart from the people who have seen it advertised, say, on the site or in a TV magazine, and just want to see Jo on there. The people who have tuned in just because they watch Richard and Judy won't
they go by
know
demographic.
About all the stuff that we know about, so they have to see it. So they have to.
Yeah, if the demographic of Richard and Judy doesn't listen to the other shows, then why would they assume exactly?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of like when they get any other celebrity on, and it seems like you're hearing the same interview 10 times?
But that's just how things are, I think. They don't interview... I think personally, they don't always interview them just to, to get information. They interview them because it's publicity, and because they have to interview them. It's like, we want to hear different questions, but they wouldn't, if they are, say, why Sirius's eyes grey, or were they grey, people wouldn't, people tuning in would think, what the hell are they talking about? We don't want to know detail as complicated as that, whereas we do. So it's like they interview people to the extent that they have to be interviewed, and that they have to ask specific questions for it to be popular and for people to tune in. And also, if they ask questions like that about Harry dying, then it's going to hit the papers as well, whereas if they ask about Sirius's eyes being grey, it isn't going to be like, newsflash, Sirius's eyes are grey because he...
Touché.
Touché.
Right, but Jamie, well, the reason I'm saying that is because the reason I was sort of griping about it is because this happens once every 6 months. It seems like there'll be a big media explosion because J.K. Rowling will say something that
it's to do with
Harry
revival,
might
though.
Be killed too.
Ben, it's to do with revival. It's like, even though for us Harry Potter is ongoing, and for a big part of the population it's ongoing, for just the general reader who's read it and then that's it. Harry dying in the 7th book is a newsflash. It's something new. Whereas for us it's been talked about to death. So it's like they're just catering for the public, the general public, not for the big Potter fans.
Yeah,
and
but
I know it happens.
If the general public doesn't read the book, why do they care?
Well, no, they do read it, but it's like when they see J.K. Rowling on there, they think, oh right, she's the author of Harry Potter, not, she's done all these interviews, she owns a website, she talks about us. They don't think about all the things that we talk about, that we think about. They think that she wrote Harry Potter, and they associate her with that name. So when they talk about that Harry Potter's going to die, it's a lot more important than if they talk about, Lily Evans dying. But of course, for us, it's completely different. But you can't look at it from a subjective point of view like that.
I think the reason why so many television news stations have been reporting on the story is because it's a good sell. It's a good teaser.
Well, exactly, yeah.
When people are, when the news hosts are saying, coming up, J.K. Rowling reveals
Will Potter
die in book 7, yeah. Oh, I'll tell my kids this, and they'll finally talk to me, and I'll be able to start a conversation with them, like all that. It's a good sell.
People dying is a big thing as well in any book,
Right.
So it's like, especially Potter. So it's
in
like
any media, people dying is.
It's not like we're
a
seeing
big deal.
a series of unfortunate events on the news for Lemony Snicket reveals how many people are dying in the next book. Nobody cares, but it's the fact that it's Harry Potter.
Exactly.
But also, why would J.K. Rowling do this interview with Richard and Judy when there's no book in sight and it's sort of a downtime, and this isn't normal for her? She doesn't just come on and do interviews like this. Now, one of the points of having her on was because this was the new Richard and Judy, I believe. This was their new season or whatever, and they're coming back and they're live and fresh, and look what we can do. Why did she do this, Jamie?
I've seen it, Richard and Judy, a few times. It's a very relaxed show. I mean,
it is, yeah.
even though after people, the media will catch up, whatever she said, I'm sure she felt extremely relaxed doing it. It isn't like, I mean, do you guys know Jeremy Paxman? He's a political interviewer over here, and he's so horrible to the people. He'll just fire the same questions at them. He asked Tony Blair the same question 15 times because he didn't respond to it. He just kept, dodging it. And but
sounds like
Richard,
Bill O'Reilly.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, right, yeah.
It does sound like Bill O'Reilly.
But yeah, these people are just completely different. It's just a relaxed, seating area where they just talk. It isn't even really an interview, It's just it's just a chat. And I think she just wants, she obviously wants to tell people about what's going on. She wants to create discussion. It's just like,
Yeah,
and I think
it's just that,
J.K. Rowling has been very good about slipping tidbits of information to make it so that the fan base isn't going stagnant where we just have all this information and we're just sitting on it, And I think this was a great opportunity for her to do exactly that, throw a little twist in things and give us the information.
I just found it interesting because with Book 6, J.K. Rowling only granted one interview to a U.S. Publication, like a newspaper or magazine, and then to one media outlet, which was the Today Show. And I can't remember if she did that for people in England. I'm sure she did.
It means every single interview is more valuable. It's like my teacher ages ago told me a story that if he found two priceless stamps, 2 were made, he'd burn one so that he had one and it was worth even more. It's just like that. Interviews by her are worth an absolute, their weight in gold just because she doesn't do many.
Right.
And so every single person tunes in when she does them. I mean, I'm sure Richard and Judy's viewing figures went up massively for that show.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially now they're getting all this publicity with all these separate news articles. So that's that. Anyone else want to bring anything up?
Well, that transitions nicely into our next discussion.
Yes, it does. Who is going to die in Book 7? Because now we know 2 additional people are going to die on top of the quote-unquote bloodbath that we will be seeing. And she also gave the reprieve.
Who said it was a bloodbath?
She
What
did.
did she? When did she say that?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh, no.
I'm going to cry.
Oh, I will too.
Well, it's a war. She said it's going to be a bloodbath. She gave the reprieve to one person. She gave a reprieve to one person. We have a poll up on MuggleNet, and I'll just look right now. And
Never gonna.
I'll vote Harry. And fans on MuggleNet, the number one response right now is no idea, but that's right under 20%. The second person is Snape at 16.9%.
Snape being the person who dies? Oh, okay.
No, who got saved. So, what do you guys think? Laura, what do you think?
I don't know. The more I've thought about it, I think maybe Ron might have gotten the reprieve because a lot of fans have noticed a good amount of evidence pointing towards Ron's death.
I agree with
sprinkled
that.
throughout the
That's
books,
excellent.
and I would just be hysterical if Ron died. So I hope that he doesn't.
I love you, Laura. That's brilliant.
Well, let's sum that up real quick because that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. But okay, should we just go on then to 4?
Well, yeah. Huh?
Should we just go on to 4? What constitutes a main character?
Who do we think will die? Who are the 2 people?
Yeah. 2 additional people on top of more people. That's what bugs me about all this press this story has been getting, because we've known that for a while, that a lot of people are going to be dying. We as MuggleNet should release a press release saying a ton of people are going to die. And imagine the press we're going to get.
Yeah, really.
So who do we think will die? Let's go around the table here.
Good question. Well, I think one of the trio is definitely going to die. I honestly still think Ron is. And I honestly still think Hagrid is, so I would say those 2 people.
Yeah. I think we've got to get away from seeing the trio as children still. It's like, because I think about seeing them as, it's Snape, McGonagall, Dumbledore as the adults, and Harry, Ron, Hermione. How can they die? They're children, but it isn't like that at all, because Voldemort doesn't differentiate between, children and adults. So I think you're absolutely right. One of the trio has to die. I mean, they can't not, because I think if they don't, then Joe wouldn't be portraying the whole thing, accurately, because they can't. The thing that they face now, it's just improbable that all 3 of them will get through unscathed,
Right. And could the chess match be foreshadowing this, with Ron sacrificing himself?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have thought that, yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting theory, because a lot of people relate all the foreshadowing to what we saw in Book 1 with the tasks that they had to get around. So.
Yeah.
Well, and it's...
What were you going to say, Laura?
Well, I think that's definitely a very important thing to point out, because if you look at the series, it's almost symmetrical in a way, because if you look at Book 1, it's possibly going to have connections to Book 7. Book 2 had connections to Book 6. Book 3 had connections to Book 5, and so on and so forth. So I think that there's definitely some foreshadowing in that department. As for Ron dying, I think that out of the trio, he's probably the most likely.
Yeah, I agree.
But at this point, I'm not sure about it. I think that Snape is definitely a likely character to take the axe. I'm not sure why he'll do it or what side he'll be on when he does.
I was reading a few theories in the COS forums, and some people seem to think that Snape would die in saving Harry's life and ultimately proving that he is good. Because, it's been going back and forth throughout the series, and finally this could be the final moment. On the other hand, he could die being bad, so...
It's a bit...
There's so many possibilities with Snape.
I can say 2 things. It's a bit kind of, I don't know, fairy tale-ish to think that, if one person does something bad, he's got to redeem himself by ultimately doing something good for the person who he's been bad to. Like, Snape could die saving Harry, and Wormtail could save Lupin using his hand and kill Greyback or something. But it's just, I don't know. I just don't think you can. I don't think you can see the books as having sort of catharsis at the end of them. Everything being wrapped up and all emotions being purged at the end. It's more like, things happen won't necessarily be in equilibrium.
Yeah,
I have
for
a
all
question.
we know, Snape could die and save Ron.
And save Ron, yeah, but...
Okay, if my question is if Harry... Okay, if Snape has a life debt or whatever to Harry's dad because he died because James saved Snape's life, if Snape dies in the process saving Harry's life, does Harry technically own a life debt to Snape then?
Well, yeah, it's just ongoing. You can't...
It's circular.
But the thing is, life debts don't have to involve the person dying to save them. They could just save them by, shooting the person dead who's about to kill them. It's like he can owe him in all different, ways and pay him back in all different ways. It isn't like, one person has to die to save the other and then one of that person's relations has to die to save him. I think, a life debt just means he owes him big time,
Okay.
But I was going to say, do you think Harry could cope with Ron dying? Because then it would be his godfather, Dumbledore, and Ron, not to mention his parents.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that because when you think about motivations for Harry to do what he needs to do, I think Sirius and Dumbledore constitute for enough of one. I'm not sure that there would be any point to killing Ron at this point.
I don't know. I've always been... Okay, there's a Yellow Card song called Avondale. They talk about how real life ain't no fairy tale. And it's just my belief that...
Real life ain't no fairy tale.
Joe... Yeah, that Joe realizes this too. And I just don't think it would make sense for... as you said, catharsis or whatever.
Catharsis, yeah.
Everything ends up so...
It's a purging of emotions. It's a purging of emotions. Like, one person dies on one side, one person dies on the other, and everything's sorted. This bigger battle, all ends can't be tied up, It's just absolutely impossible.
Right. And does good always triumph?
No,
over
of course
evil?
not. No. And she realizes that.
Do you think... I think it would be pretty cool if Voldemort...
But no, he can't...
Well, yeah, let's talk about that, because there's been a lot of speculation over Harry's death, especially now that J.K. Rowling has suggested that, well, I've never really felt tempted to kill off Harry before the 7th book, because she doesn't want authors in the future to write
How could you kill Harry before the 7th book anyway?
Well,
what would book 7 be if Harry died?
Honestly, I think it would be pretty... Hold on. I think it would be pretty cool. When they're talking about the death that was going to happen in Book 5, Eric and I had a discussion about this, and we thought it would be neat. This is like way before MuggleCast. If the person who died in Book 5 was Harry.
Yeah, that's really neat.
And then... No, hold on. And then Book 6 was trying to find a way to bring someone back from dying.
The thing is, right, you're forgetting that she's human. If you spent the best part of 2 decades writing a septology, I think you'd have to be a pretty hard human to kill off the main character, one that you've clearly fallen in love with over the time.
You would have to be a hard human, but that's what would make this series so
It wouldn't be special, though. Think how many people should alienate. Think how many people should alienate doing that.
It's funny because people outside of the Harry Potter fandom think, oh, she would never kill Harry. That would absolutely kill the fandom. Think about the merchandising and the publicity and the movies. You can't even call it Harry Potter if your main character's dead. But in reality, I think it's completely possible. Especially this new interview was definitely interesting. She wouldn't kill him off before the 7th book, but she never directly said no, and of course she's going to leave it open.
Well,
I don't know.
I think that if Harry does die, it's going to be at the end.
I think it would be a twist, but I don't think she'd kill him.
What do you guys think the chances are of one of the character getting the reprieve being Harry?
No, I think that's unlikely.
Do you think that's been set in stone for a while?
Yeah, he's too huge of a character. And she also said that she changed the last chapter of Book 7 around a little bit, and I guess that has to do with the reprieve. But it's interesting.
I don't know. I just think it would be pretty sweet if Voldemort won.
I understand what you guys are saying about the books relating to real life, because I feel that way too. And I think that it would be a really gross, underestimate of the horrors of war if everybody that we love, gets through it. But at the same time, I think that we have to remember that there's a certain formula to this because it is a book. And, for instance, if it were absolutely 100% real, then Voldemort wouldn't wait until the end of every school year to attack Harry.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm so confident that Harry won't die, if Harry dies, I will record myself eating 50 jumbo sausages. Put it on the internet.
I'm gonna hold you
I swear to God, I'll do that.
A video.
Yeah, this is going to be a video, right?
Yeah.
We'll stick it on YouTube.
I swear to everyone, I will do that.
So you're honestly that convinced?
Harry is not going to die. I can put myself in her situation. I just could not kill off my main character. I just don't think it's going to be like he kills Voldemort.
Yeah,
he's
I don't
there
see that
mortally
either.
wounded.
I think it's can't. Like cliche.
I just cannot. I can't picture myself reading Harry dying. It's just everything he's done. Everything he's been through. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Just look at
she's important
Ginny
now.
dying.
Nobody cares about
exactly,
Ginny.
and that's
Harry cares about Ginny.
Okay, Harry does, but who cares? Harry's going to die anyway. Look at Book 5 and look at Book 6. Sirius and Dumbledore are so close to Harry, and they're both pretty big characters in the books. J.K. Rowling
but
had some you-know-what to cut off those characters.
No.
So now, I think it's all leading up to
but
Harry
Andrew,
dying. And Ben, let's do a special podcast on this.
In these books, the only thing that really matters is him. It's the only thing that everyone's concerned about. Everything in that book is backstory apart from his quest. I just couldn't imagine her ever killing him off. And I'm betting 50 sausages on it.
But then what happens? Everyone is upset. Everyone feels the emotion, and that's the whole point of the series. And I'm convinced.
Yeah, but you can still feel that same emotion if Harry's alive. Because you're seeing
and
through
he's
his
sitting there
eyes
crying
how
because
awful
Hermione's
he feels
died,
about his friends and
but you will feel the most
I'm
emotion
gonna feel...
if Harry dies, and either J.K. Rowling sitting here listening to this, shaking her head, or
she's like,
thumbs up in approval.
Here's what you don't understand about me. Okay, I was crying before Dumbledore died. I'm going to burst
that's because
into
you're a
tears
big
when
baby.
When I open book 7, I'm just gonna
Me too.
burst into tears. I'm just gonna start
too.
crying all over the place.
The final point that I would like to make with this discussion is that J.K. Rowling says she does not want to leave it open for anybody to write a sequel. The only way she can accomplish that is by killing Harry.
Yes, absolutely right. But is it
People
worth?
write fan fiction already.
People write, yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm sure she can copyright something. She can copyright it in a way that stops people writing. It's a bit over the top.
No one's going to publish.
To kill him just because
Yeah, but then you're gonna get people.
Harry's gonna die.
Characters called Perry Hodder.
Get this. A year from now, you're gonna look back on this, and we're gonna be playing the recording for you, and you're eating your sausages, okay? Because
but Ben,
you're gonna be upset. Because
I agree. I probably will, but
what?
I just don't. She could stop every single bit of fan fiction now if she wanted to. Perry Hodder is only around because she allows it to be around, and Warner Brothers allow it to be around. They own absolutely everything to do with that. The word Quidditch you can't use without. It's like if she wanted to stop sequels being written, she could stop sequels being written. It is a bit. She doesn't have to kill Harry off to stop sequels being written. It's just I just can't see it happening. But if you want to send in,
he's not
gonna die. Can we move on?
Everyone has to die, dude. So you're wrong.
The final chapter is the epilogue, correct?
Yes.
So I mean, in reality, that's sort of going to help kill off any sequels, any thoughts of people creating sequels. But at the same time, it would be an excellent ending. Jamie, it is time for your British joke of the day.
And I'll just say I've posted this on the fan forum already, but since I am completely uninspired and can't find a joke, I thought I'd say it on here for all the people who missed it. There's this guy, and I bought a telescope off him. This telescope's worth £150, and I bought it off him for £10,000. He must have seen me coming. Crap joke of the show. There you go.
Yeah.
Are they getting worse? People, please write in and tell me how bad they're getting. A little weak.
That one was a little weak.
Like Monday to Tuesday.
Okay, well that does wrap up MuggleCast 46. Again, completely unlive and pre-recorded. Once again, I'm Andrew Sims.
I am Ben Shane.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Laura Thompson.
I'm Jamie Lawrence. Last. Again.
And least.
Jamie, you can host the whole entire show next week. You're going to be on
for
the
until
next
Vegas.
Weeks, right?
Vegas.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. Don't forget, everyone, vote for us in the podcast awards because we want to win.
Not go to California.
Go to California.
Because we want to go to California, and it would just be.
Come on, Andrew, wrap it up.
What would it be? I'm trying to think what it would be.
Awesome.
It would be an honor to win a podcast award.
It would be convivial.
Yes. Yes, it would. We'll see everyone next week for episode 47.
Goodbye.
Bye. I've also...
Hey, Andrew, you want to stop the Sorry, Laura.
Okay.
No, let's wait till the chapter discussion.
Well, I've
also...
also...
over half the show.
No, we've played
Nice.
more. Go ahead, Laura.
Meowed.
Sorry, okay.
You have to put that in as a blooper.
I was frustrated.
Almost 90% of women have cellulite. And guess what? It's not their fault. We don't choose cellulite, but we can choose a different way to treat it. Meet Quo, collagenase Clostridium histolyticum, AAES, the first and only FDA-approved prescription injectable for moderate to severe cellulite in the buttocks of adult women. This non-surgical treatment is injected by an aesthetic specialist in 10 minutes or less. Individual results may vary. Do not receive if you are allergic to any collagenase or ingredients in Quo or have an infection at the treatment site. May cause serious side effects, allergic reactions including anaphylaxis, and injection site bruising. Seek medical help right away for any signs of allergic hypersensitivity. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions if you have a bleeding condition or take medicine that prevents clotting. Most common side effects include bruising, pain, hardness, itching, redness, discoloration, swelling, and warmth at the injection site. Ask your doctor about all possible side effects and for product information. If you're ready to get to the bottom of your cellulite, learn more and find a specialist at Quo.com.